Hello, welcome to the EKS Library. Today we are going to go over library resources and research tips for you to use for your assignment. To get started, you're going to go to the library's website. You can access the library's website by going to library.wingate.edu or through MyGate under Resources, click Library, then access the library. Once you're on this page, you'll see many different things. On the top right corner, you'll see the Ask Ethel chat feature. If you have any questions, you can click on this and be connected to a librarian or a library assistant. Below, you'll see our tabs for our library, which include LibGuides, Find Sources, Students, Faculty, and About. Below that, you'll see our Fetch database. This is a popular database used to look for articles and books. Scrolling down, you'll see on this side our library's hours, as well as the hours for the IT help desk in the Writing Center. Scroll down a little and you'll see our event schedule for the library. If you need help with any research, you can schedule a research consultation. To schedule an appointment with a librarian, you're going to scroll up to the top of the page and then click on the Students tab. On the left-hand side, you'll click Schedule a Research Consultation. From there, you'll see two options. You can schedule a meeting with Ms. Robinson or Mrs. Anderson. They are research librarians that are here to help you with your research. To schedule an appointment, you're going to select one of these links. It will ask you if you want to schedule a 30-minute consultation or an hour-long consultation. You can pick either one. It just depends on how much time you think you need. Once you select a time, a calendar will pop up. On the top right-hand side, you'll see a left and right arrow. You can use these to navigate the calendar. So to skip to next week, you can see our calendar in full here. Anything that is shaded means that the librarian is not available, whereas anything that can be highlighted means that they are available. Pick a date and time that works best for you, and it'll take you to this form. From here, you will fill out your name, your Wingate email, your class, the class instructor, the reason for the appointment. You can select as many of these as you want. The assignment details. This is where you'll put in detail the assignment that you are working on. The more information you provide, the easier it will be for us to help you. You can choose to have an in-person meeting or a Zoom meeting. And then if you have any other comments regarding your assignment or the reason you need help, you can fill out this option here. Once you have completed the form, hit Confirm Booking, and it will book the appointment for you on your Google Calendar and the librarian's Google Calendar. It will also send you a reminder the day before your meeting. You can also go to the library and ask for help at the circulation desk or the research desk, or just ask a library assistant or librarian for help. For your assignment, you will be using the English 110 LibGuide. To access the English 110 LibGuide, you will go to the LibGuides tab and click on Course Guides. On the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a list of LibGuides. Scroll down until you see the English 110 University Writing and Research link. Click on it. And here you'll find the English 110 LibGuide page. On the home page, you'll find a link for the research consultation appointment. the A through Z database list, a journals title search where you can look for different journals, and the link to the Tutoring and the Writing Center. The next thing you should see on your LibGuide is the primer. The primer is a brief recap of concepts talked about in Research Bootcamp or Gateway 101. Everything regarding basic research tips can be found on this page. The first thing you'll need to do is research planning. This involves generating a search terms list. You're going to begin by looking at your research question. Now, you cannot type in your research question into a database. The database is not good at understanding conversations, phrases, or questions. If you type in your research question into the database, it will break it apart into separate keywords, and you're going to end up with a lot of irrelevant results. To prevent that from happening, you're going to focus on keywords from your question and use those in your database searching. For example, if your research question is, in what ways does music articulate the values of American culture at a given time? You're going to use the keywords music, values, American, and culture as. Once you have this basic search term list, you're going to expand on those keywords by creating more synonyms. For example, from American, you can use the terms America, United States of America, USA or US. And for culture, you can use the term like society, humanities, or civilization. The purpose of this is to expand your research. The more search terms you have, the more likely you are able to find more resources. If you limit yourself on keywords, you will limit yourself on the types of resources available, and you might end up missing a source that would have explained your topic better, but was omitted from the search because it did not contain that keyword. So for example, if I just used the keyword American, I might end up missing out on a source that covers my topic, but use the term United States. Once you have your keywords, you need to also keep in mind to practice phrase searching. Phrase searching is taking keywords that are more than one word and putting quotation marks around them. So for example, you would put quotation marks on United States of America or United States. The purpose of this is to keep the keywords together. If you fail to practice phrase searching, you'll end up getting a lot of irrelevant results. For example, if you are doing research on heart attacks and type in heart attacks into a search bar without using phrase searching, you might get resources that pertain to the term heart attacks, or sources that talk about candy hearts, or dog attacks. If you practice phrase searching and put quotation marks around heart attacks, you will get results that pertain to the topic of heart attacks. So phrase searching will help you keep your words together and will help you get relevant results. You'll also need to consider how to build your search. Once you have those keywords, you're going to use Boolean operators to connect your search terms and build your search. There are three main types of operators, or, and not. If you use the Boolean operator or, you're going to get results that contain any of your key terms. And it's also good for connecting synonyms. For example, if you type American or America or USA, you're going to get results that contain one or all of these options. The next operator is and will give you results that include all of your search terms. For example, if you type in America in culture and music, you're going to get all of those key terms in your results. The next operator is not. Not is useful for eliminating unhelpful terms from your search results. You will use it at the end of the search string while the rest of your search is in parentheses. For example, if you type in America in culture and music and put that in parentheses and add not classical at the end, you'll get results that pertain to America, culture, and music and not classical music. You also need to consider how to classify sources. There are three types of sources regarding how closely related it is to original ideas and information. When it comes to ideas, sources can be classified as primary sources, secondary sources, and tertiary sources. Primary sources represent the original work and are created at the time of the event. So, for example, you will think of photographs or social media posts. Secondary sources are analysis of primary sources. They may or may not be peer-reviewed. An example of secondary sources would be a peer-reviewed article or a book review. Tertiary sources are summative in nature. They cover broad topics and ideas. So think of a dictionary or an encyclopedia or Cliff Notes. There are also scholarly and popular sources. Scholarly sources are written by experts in a given field. They are peer-reviewed and are written with experts in mind. An example would include peer-reviewed articles and books written by experts. Popular sources are written by a variety of people, mostly journalists and professional writers. They may be reviewed by general editors, but they are written for the general public and mostly cover popular events. So let's talk about the research process. The research process is a 6-step guide to conducting research. The first step is to choose a topic. For better results, choose a topic that interests you, and then ask a question from it. Once you have a research question in mind, you may begin research. Next, you'll have to find information. There are all kinds of information out there, from books to articles to videos. You will need to follow your professor's parameters when it comes to resources you are allowed to use. The first step is to come up with a search strategy. You'll take your research question and break it up into keywords you want to focus on. Once you have those keywords, you may begin to research. If you are having trouble at this step, you'll need to take a step back and review your search strategy. Once you figure out the issue, you need to revise your keywords or revise your research question, depending on what the issue is. Once you have made the necessary revisions, you may begin to do your research again. If you are having trouble at this stage, please reach out to a librarian or schedule a research consultation. The fourth step is to evaluate sources. At this step, you'll need to gather your resources and you need to evaluate them. The best way to evaluate them is to use the CRAP test. The CRAP test will determine if a source is informative and factual, or if it is considered misinformation or disinformation. Using the CRAP test will help to determine those factors. At this stage, you should also be collecting a list of these sources and start making notes about how you will use this information in your research. By compiling a list, you'll be able to conduct a bibliography or works cited page and generate a list for note-taking. The fifth step is to apply knowledge. At this stage, you are going to compile all the notes you've made on your resources and combine them with your interpretation of the information. The last step is to cite sources. So once you have completed your paper or your project, you'll need to cite your information. Failure to cite your sources will result in you being accused of plagiarism. To avoid being accused of plagiarism, you'll need to cite your sources in the text and at the end using the works cited page or a bibliography. If you have any doubts about citing your source, it is best to oversight instead of not citing at all. If you have any questions or concern about how to cite a source, you are free to schedule a research consultation with a librarian to ask for help, or to visit the Writing Center for more advice. The next tab you'll see is evaluating sources. When you are doing research, you'll find numerous sources of information. However, there are some sources that may contain false information that would be considered misinformation or disinformation. Your job as a researcher is to evaluate those sources and weed out the good from the bad. One of the best ways to evaluate a source is to use the CRAP test. The CRAP test is used to evaluate sources based on the following criteria: currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. You will use the CRAP test to evaluate a source. If the source passes all of the criteria, then it is a good source to use. However, if the source fails one or more of these criteria, it is a poor source to use and you'll need to find something else. The first thing you will test for is currency. This is to determine how old the information is. When was it published, or when was it last updated? You also need to consider if your topic requires up-to-date information. For example, if you are doing a topic on mental health, you would require more up-to-date information. However, if you are doing a history topic, you can get away with using older information. Another thing you need to consider is, can you find other sources of similar quality with more current information? To test for this criteria, you are going to look for the date or timestamp on the source. For example, if you are using a website, look for timestamps located near the content title or the website's copyright date, which is located at the page footer. If you're using print materials, such as a book, look for the date of publication on the copyright page, which is near the front of the book. Or if you're using an article, look for the date located below the article title. Detailed records can be found in the database you are using, as they will provide date of publication as well. The next criteria you will be testing is relevance, which is how does this information fit in your research? What role will this source play in your... You also need to ask yourself, is this information detailed or technical enough for you to use? To make that determination, you will need to annotate the source, which will require you to make notes and highlight information. If you find that you have a lot of notes and highlights, then you know it's a good source for you to use. However, if you find that there's no notes or that you only highlighted one piece of information, then you need to find something else to use. The next step is to test for authority, which is the source of the information. At this stage, you're going to ask who is the author, the publisher, or the sponsor, and what can you find out about them? You're also going to evaluate the author's credentials. Do they have experience on the subject? Were they an eyewitness? Do they hold some sort of societal position or position of power? You're also going to ask yourself, is this information peer-reviewed? When it comes to the peer review process, an expert in a field will present a piece of information that they've researched and submitted it to a committee of like-minded experts. That committee will then review the information and test the sources and citations. This is a long process and can take years and many revisions. However, once revisions are made, the committee can then approve of the information and then submit it for publication, and it is then considered peer-reviewed. To test for this criteria, to look for sites like LinkedIn, company or institutional websites, and even Wikipedia to get a general feel for the person who wrote the piece. The next criteria you will test is accuracy. This is to determine how correct the information is. So you will ask yourself if the information in your source is supported by other sources you have found. You'll also need to ask yourself if the author provides citations and references, if the information is peer-reviewed. If it is peer-reviewed, then it is accurate. You also need to ask, is it well-written? This can be especially hard to evaluate in opinion-based sources, but The best way to determine that is to evaluate the factual claims made in such sources. The last criteria you will test is purpose, which is the reason for the information. You're basically going to ask yourself, why does this information exist? Did the author make their intentions clear? So is the author trying to inform the reader? Or are they trying to convince the reader of a point? You also need to ask yourself if there is clear or subtle bias in the source. Is the source neutral, or does it lean one way or another when it comes to a point? You also need to determine if the source is mostly fact or mostly opinion. And if it is an opinion, is it supported by facts made in that source and by other sources? If you find the purpose of the source to be questionable or unclear, or if it sounds like propaganda, then you should keep looking. However, it doesn't mean to overlook the source if it disagrees with what you believe or what you are saying. The next tab you'll see is Finding Sources with Fetch. Fetch is one of the databases you can use for your assignment. So Fetch is a database that will pull resources from other databases in our collection, and it will find sources like books, videos, and articles, and includes information that may be peer-reviewed and not. This is a great database to use, especially when you are beginning your research. To access Fetch, you are going to click on this link here, and it's going to take you to the library's homepage. So here you will find Fetch next to the image of the bulldog. Right next to the bulldog, you'll see this search bar here. This is for a basic search. Below that, you'll see a link for an advanced search. Click on this, and it's going to take you to the advanced search. It's a step up from the basic search and will allow you to add more keywords and Boolean operators and arrange your search in a way that will work for you. So on the right-hand side, you'll see ways to filter it, such as material type and even a date range. Right here, you can also do a filter here where you can filter it by a title or a subject. And right next to it, you can see enter a search term. This is where you'll enter your keyword or keywords. So for example, if you're doing research on John Updike and A&P, you are going to do your search like this. On the first bar, you are going to enter the author's name. So I am going to do a quotation mark, then type John Updike, and then close it with another quotation mark. Right below that, where you see and, this is our Boolean operator filter. You can select any of these Boolean operators for your search string. I am going to use the operator and then right here, I'm going to enter another search term. Here I will enter A and P. So I'm going to do quotation mark, A, space, and P, and then close that with a quotation mark. So this is what it should look like. Again, you can filter it here. And of course, if you forget to hit the filters, you can always filter it after you hit search. Once you have everything to your liking, you're going to hit the search button. And your page should look like this. Now, sometimes it will ask you to sign in. So you're going to hit the sign in button. And then you're going to log in using your Wingate information. This is to help you get access to more information and more resources. At the center of the page, you should see your results. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a filters option. You can filter it many different ways. So, for example, you can filter it by availability, such as if it's available online or as a peer-reviewed journal. You can also filter it by resource type, so such as an article or a book. Now, there's many different resources you can use, and each resource has its own form of information and analysis. For example, a magazine article may be a popular source where it's just a basic information, whereas an article may have more in-depth information and analysis. Another way you can filter is by subject, in which you can filter by the author's name or the subject of a short story. You can also filter it by author and creator, which is the person who wrote the article or book. You can also narrow it down by location, such as where it is located in the library, the collection or the database used, the creation date, the journal title, language, or the library location. These are all different ways you can filter it, and you are free to use any of these filters to your liking, especially if you are getting too many results and you want to narrow it down. For example, if you want to look for books, go to Resource Type and select Books. It will filter to where it just pulls up books. Now, there are different types of books. We do have ebooks and physical copies. Unfortunately, there is not a way to filter it based off of physical copies versus ebooks. The best way to determine if a book is an ebook or not is to look at the book and see where it is available. If it says it's available online, then that means it's an ebook. If it says it's available at the F.L.K. Smith Library and then gives you a location and call number, this is not an ebook. If you have any trouble accessing a book or finding a book, please ask a librarian or a library assistant to help you. Now, if you do not want a book, we're going to close this, and you want a peer-reviewed journal, you're going to click on Peer-reviewed journals under Availability, hit Apply Filters, and then it's going to pull up results that contain all the peer review sources. If you find a source that interests you, click on the title of the source. It will take you to this page, which will provide you a summary, different ways to access the source, and details about the source. Now, depending on the source you are using, it may provide you with multiple ways to access it, and sometimes only one way to access it. It just depends on the availability. To access the source, you are going to click on one of the links to the databases. And it will take you to the article in question. The first thing you should see is an abstract page. This will provide you with a summary of the source. As the researcher, you are going to read the abstract and determine if this is a source that you will use. If you find the source to be useful, you are going to click on Full Text PDF. This will give you the PDF file to the article, which will A, keep the article together, and B, provide you with page numbers to make it easier for citing. If you have determined that you like this source, you can do multiple things. One thing you can do is print the article, which will print the whole PDF file, or you can download the PDF onto your personal device. You can also email it to yourself, or if you have this option, if you go to All Options, you can save it onto your Google Drive, which will save it under a special folder. Now, you might also see the citation button. Please do not use the citation button or the automatic citation generator. They tend to get citations wrong. I would recommend that you use the MLA Citation Guide as a reference, which can be found as a book in the library, or you can check online in the LibGuide. If you have any questions, you can always visit a librarian or visit the Writing Center for more help. Now we are going to go over Arts and Humanities database. Arts and Humanities is a ProQuest database that covers arts and humanities such as literature and philosophy. To get started, we are going to click on this link here, and it will take us to this page here. Here you'll find the basic search bar. And on top, you'll see the advanced search. Click on the advanced search, and it will take you to this page. Here you'll find multiple search bars that you can use to enter keywords, a Boolean operator drop box, and other ways you can filter your research. To get started, you're going to enter your search terms in these bars here. For example, if I was doing research on Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah and her work Friday Black, I will use those keywords and enter it in the bars. And here I will type in the author's name, and put that in quotation marks to keep it together. I'm going to select Boolean operator and. And here I will type in the author's work, Friday Black. So, and put that in quotation marks as well to keep it together. If you wish to add more keywords, you can hit add a row and type in more keywords here. And if you accidentally hit add a row, you can remove a row like so. You can also filter your search many different ways. You can limit it to full text or peer review sources, or narrow it down by source type, document type, and language. You can do this before you hit search, or you can do it after you hit search. Once you have added your keywords, you're going to hit search. Your results will pop up in the middle of the screen, and on the far left side, you'll see a filters option. There are many different ways you can filter your results. You can filter it by full text or peer reviewed, the source type, such as a scholarly journal or a trade publication. You can also filter it by publication date. You can also narrow it down by publication title, document type, narrow it down by subject. You can also filter it by the company or organization that created the source, the location, the person, language, and database. Depending on your results, you can use these filters as a way to narrow down your search. For example, if I wanted to focus on peer review sources only, I am going to select peer review, and my results will come up on this page here. Sometimes you'll see a few sources, and sometimes you will see a lot. It depends on your subject and the keywords you use. Once you find an article you like, you are going to select it by clicking on the article's title. Here you'll see the abstract of, as always, make sure you read the abstract before you print or download the article. Once you have read the abstract and determined that it is a useful source to use, you are going to go on the left-hand side and select full text PDF. And here you'll find the article as a PDF file. So this will be how the article will present in a journal or a publication source. Always get the PDF file because it will keep the article together, and it will provide you with page numbers that you can use to reference back to when you are citing your source. You can access it many different ways. One option is to download. So you can select this button right here to download a PDF file. Another option is to email it to yourself. So if you select this little envelope button here, you can email this article to yourself or to another person. Another option you have is to print the source. So if you select this button right here, it will give you the option to print, and you can see the print button right here, and select that, and it will print the source right away. Another cool thing about arts and humanities is that it has a cloud saving option. To access it, you're going to click on all options, go to where it says cloud saving, and select Google Drive. Now, another thing you need to know about is citations. So, as you can see on the top page, there is a citation button that will automatically cite the source for you. Whatever you do, do not use the citation generator provided by Arts and Humanities or any of the databases or sites you see online. The reason is that they tend to get citations wrong. Instead, you will use the MLA citation guide provided on your LibGuide, or reference the MLA citation guide handbook located in the library. If you're looking for details for your citation, you can find it at the top of this page here, or in the abstract and details part right here. If you click on that, you'll see all the details regarding this source, such as the author, the publication date, and the URLs needed for the site. Another cool thing about Arts and Humanities is that it can provide you sources to use. So scrolling back up to the top of the page, on the right-hand side, you'll see suggested sources. You can use these as well in your research. You can also use the citation provided by the article. So if you go back to the full text-PDF, and then scroll down to where the source provides its works cited, bibliography, or its notes, you can use the citation they provide. For example, if I want to use a source by Christina Elizabeth Sharp, I can use this citation as a guide to find the source and then use it in my research. And that is how you use Arts and Humanities database. Another database you can use is called Credo Reference. Credo Reference is an encyclopedia type database that you can use to look up certain events, places, and people, and get background information on those topics. To get started, you are going to click on Credo Reference, and it will take you to that database page. However, if you see this page pop up, you are going to select Other Login Options, and then select Choose Your Library from a list. And it will take you to the home page for Credo Reference. You can enter your search term here. For example, if you want more background information on the author John Updike, you can type in that keyword here. So quotation mark, John space Updike. Close it with a quotation mark and hit enter. It will take you to all the information it has on the author. On the left-hand side, you'll see results from encyclopedia pages and other resources. On the top right-hand corner where you see the spider-like image is called a mind map. A mind map is when the Credo takes the keyword you typed in and tries to come up with related concepts and search terms. You can use these concepts as keywords in your research if you wish. On the left-hand side, you'll see the encyclopedia entries. You can narrow down by articles, images, and more library resources. If you are interested in articles, you're going to select articles, and then scroll down until you find an article you like. When you find an article, click on the link here, and it will take you to the article in question here. And here you'll find all the background information regarding your topic. On the right-hand side, you'll see related searches. And on the top of the page, you'll see options such as share. So if you like the article, you can select share, and then email it to yourself, or copy the link and paste it onto a Google Doc. To have the article read aloud, you can select this once, and then click it again when you want it to stop. You can also translate the article here by clicking Translate, and then selecting one of the many languages available. Now, Credo does provide a citation option in which it will cite the source for you like this. However, I would caution you about using the citation generators from Credo or any other database or website you use. And the reason is that automatic citation generators often get the information wrong and provide a wrong citation. So avoid the citation generator and use the MLA citation guide provided in the LibGuide, or use the MLA citation guide handbook available at the library. If you have any questions about citations, you can see a librarian or someone in the Writing Center. Now, keep in mind that Credo reference is a great source to use if you're looking for background information on a topic. However, Credo reference is not good for providing an in-depth analysis of a topic. So you will need to use other resources available in addition to Credo reference to build up your assignment. Next, we'll need to go over what is a literature review. For those of you who have not done a literature review is not the same thing as an annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is a list of sources that give a summary and an evaluation of each source. A literature review goes above and beyond an annotated bibliography in terms of information. It provides an overview of the previously published works on a given topic, in which the sources in the literature review have to be summarized and synthesized. So they have to provide a summary. They need to show how they are connected to one or more sources. And they need to have some sort of an assessment or judgment about the source. When you are writing your literature review, you should include brief summaries of the source, but also need to identify trends in this area of study. You should also identify gaps of knowledge and opportunities for further research and study. When it comes to literature reviews, it is best to use peer-reviewed journal articles as they are written and done like a study, and they will provide you with that sort of information that you will need for a literature review. If you have any questions regarding a literature review, you can watch this video below that will. Now we are going to go over the MLA citation guide. As always, I would discourage you from using an automatic citation generator, as they are prone to get the citation wrong. Instead, you will use the MLA citation guide provided on the LibGuide, or the MLA citation handbook located in the library. Below, you'll see a video that goes into a brief overview about the MLA Citation Style 9th edition. You are free to use this video as a reference when you are citing your source. Going past this video, you'll see more information on how to capture evidence and MLA citations. So let's go over how to capture evidence. The best ways to capture evidence is to do a direct quote, paraphrase, or provide a summary. If you do a direct quote, you are taking information from the source verbatim or word for word. If you use a direct quote, you need to put quotation marks around your direct quote, and you must provide an in-text citation. Next is paraphrase. Paraphrasing is when you take information or an idea from the source and you use your own words to represent that information. Keep in mind that even though you are using your own words, the information and ideas are not your own. Therefore, you must provide an in-text citation. The last way to capture evidence is to provide a summary. A summary is similar to a paraphrase because you are using your own words. However, a summary condenses the entire source into a sentence. Again, even though you are using your own words to summarize the source, it is not your own idea or information, and you must provide an in-text citation. Next, we are going to go over the MLA citation. When it comes to MLA citation, there are two things you need to think about. A, how to create a works cited page, and B, how to create an in-text citation. First, we're going to go over a works cited page. From here, you will find information regarding how to cite various sources using the MLA citation guide. So you can find a citation style for books, journal articles, and web page or website. It will also provide you with information in case you have multiple authors or a source that has no author or date. Next, we're going to talk about how to provide an in-text citation. From here, you'll find information on how to provide that in-text citation in case you have multiple offers or no offer, and then what to do if your work doesn't have a page or page number. Please use this as a reference when you are writing your source and providing a citation. Scrolling back up towards the middle of the page, you will find under Additional Resources, you'll see the MLA Handbook. This is a reference in addition to what you find on the LibGuide, and this can be found in the library. If you wish to look at this, please visit the library and ask for it at the circulation desk or at the research desk. Another resource available is the Purdue OWL MLA format link. If you have any questions or concerns, please see a librarian, schedule a research consultation, or visit the Writing Center for more help.